สวัสดีครับอาจารย์ครับผม
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Dhamma meeting where we will discuss the Buddhist practices of charity, morality, and meditation. Everyone who is interested is welcome to join. We shall start with our first participant, which is Mike from New York. Hi, Mike. Good morning.
Greetings, Ajaan. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Happy to be with you all.
Thanks. Today I was wondering about kind of Buddhist thoughts on determination, kind of keeping our sights set on the path, and especially when it comes to renouncing hindrances or sensual desires. If there's any particular words of determination or suttas or just kind of even images from the Pali Canon that you go back to in a way to kind of even keep yourself determined, whether it was early on in your practice or maybe something you kind of come back to later on.
Well, you have to have prioritize which is more important to you, your body or your mind. See, your body is a temporary creature. It exists for 100 years, not more, then it's gone. And everything that you acquire with your body will just be gone. You won't have anything to take it with you. But the mind is forever. The mind lasts forever. And if you think the mind is more important than the body, then you would then have to look after the mind more than you look after your body. And the body, in order to look after the mind so that it can stay happy without any stress or anxiety or worry, you have to practice the triple training, the three practices of charity, morality, and meditation. So it's up to you which one you want to put more emphasis on. If you want to put more emphasis on your body and the worldly wealth or possession, then you go after those things. But if you put your mind above your body, then you will then have to put more emphasis on the practice of charity, morality, and meditation. So it's just a matter of switching your priority. For most people, for all of us, when we are born, we only know ourselves as the body. So we put all our effort on the body and everything that we can acquire with the body. But after we study Buddhism, learning that besides our body, there's also our mind, which is the one that uses the body. Due to the mind ignorant, not knowing that the mind itself is more important than the body. So we due to our delusion or ignorant, we put all our effort in looking after our body and the possession that we can acquire with our body. But we know that it's only a temporary thing. You can be millionaire until you die, but that's it. Once you die, you no longer take any wealth, any money with you. Maybe because your delusion think that once the body dies, then your life ceases to exist. But that's not the case. The case is only half of us that die, which is the body. The other half, which is the mind, doesn't die with the body. And it goes on. And how it goes on depends on how you look after your mind. It can go on happy or it can go on sad and miserable if you don't look after your mind. If you don't practice charity, morality, and meditation, then your mind will go in a bad way. And it will keep on continuing on with the cycle of rebirth, birth, aging, sickness, and death. But if you follow the Buddha's path, his teaching will lead you to the cessation of rebirth, the cycle of rebirth, and finding or meeting Nibbana, the supreme happiness that the mind can possess and keep forever. So this is what you have to study and learn about who you really are. Is it the body or is it the mind? Which is more important? Maybe this is something you cannot yet prove for yourself because the mind is very elusive, very hard to see. But you have to take the Buddha's teaching by faith, on faith, and then follow his teaching, and then things will become more clearer to you as you practice. So that's all I can say. So the way to make you stick to put more emphasis on Buddhism, on practice for your mind, then you have to stay close to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, because you will hear about these things. Hearing about the mind, hearing about Nibbana, hearing about the complete cessation of suffering, of rebirth. So you need to maybe study more. Come to our meeting every week and listening to about how to look after our mind, how to stop the mind from going on and on in the cycle of rebirth. Then it's up to you how much effort you want to put in for the mind. But you have to decide which is more important. Then you will then have to provide the time for the thing that you think is important to you.
Thank you, Ajaan.
Yeah, so try to do as much as you can, especially meditation. Morality, you just keep the 5 precepts at the minimum. And charity, if you feel charitable, if you have extra money to give or to help someone, do it. It'll make you feel it's better than spending money on luxury items or things that you don't really need. You might think it makes you happy, but it's a brief happiness as compared to spending money on charity, helping someone in need, or helping some good causes. It will make you feel happy longer. And it can reduce your craving for luxury things also. Because every time you crave for luxury things and you stop, you don't do it, then this craving will eventually disappear. Then you can live simply. Live with the 4 basic essential of life, food, shelter, clothing, and medicine. But you don't need fancy car, you don't need jewelries and whatever. Then you will have more time because you will spend less money. When you spend less money, then you don't have to work as hard to get the money to spend. So you will have more time to meditate. And when you meditate, you'll find another kind of happiness, which is better than any other kind of happiness that you have ever come across before. Then you want to do more meditation. Once you start to see the result from your meditation, that it gives you a better kind of happiness than all the other kind of happiness that you have experienced in your life. And as you do more, practice more, you become more happy, more contented. You have less craving desire. So the need to have money or spending money will be almost gone. All you need is just the money to pay for your food and your clothing and so forth. Then you might decide to become a monk like me. I started like you. I went to college. I was expecting to graduate and make money and have a happy life. But I find, there's always stress in everything that you do. And it's not worth the time you spend for it. And I was fortunate to come across the teaching of the Buddha and started practicing and start to experience some peace of mind from meditation. And I thought this is the effort I want to put in. This is the result I want. Yeah. The happiness that we gain from doing things in the world, they are brief, and once you experience it, it's gone. You go on a holiday, you were happy for a few days. After you return, it's all gone. You're empty and you want to do something else to keep you happy. And this needs a lot of financial resources to do it. And this requires a lot of work. And you get into more stress by working. So what are you going to do? You can never run away from stress if you continue on the worldly path. You have to get out of the worldly path and enter the spiritual path. All right. Anything else?
No, that was really good. Thank you so much, Ajaan.
Okay, you're welcome. Next step, you're also in early for today. And you unmute your microphone. Okay.
Trying to do it at the same time. How are you doing? It's so good to see you.
Yeah, okay.
Can I ask how Jordan's doing?
Yeah, he's okay. He's doing his duty as a monk. I see him every morning. We go on the alms round together, but we hardly meet or talk. I tell him if there's nothing to ask me for advice, then he should just concentrate on mindfulness and meditation practice.
And that's going well for him.
Yeah, he seems to be doing okay.
Makes me really happy to see. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I'm doing good. My husband is on another trip and I'm not freaking out, so I think the practice is going really well. And I think definitely have this this time to thank for it, because I don't know, I'm just I'm not thinking too much. I'm just not thinking too much. Keeping myself, yeah.
The less you think, the less craving or desire will come up.
Yeah. I had a nice meditation yesterday where I stayed on my nose and you kept popping in my head, like, thinking is exhausting for the brain, to stay on the nose. And it was just really nice. So yeah.
Yeah, just keep doing it and you'll have peace and contentment. and you find that it's okay to be alone and not doing anything.
That's, yeah, I'm coming to realize it's like really good. It's very good.
Mm.
So
Yes.
thank you. Oh.
Okay, you're welcome. Next, Lynn from Indonesia.
Good evening, Tanajan.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you today?
Good, thank you.
That's good. Just a continuation question on the previous one. So what is a practical way to get rid of bhava tanha and vibhava tanha? Thank you.
Bhava tanha, wanting something to be like this or like that. Vibhava tanha, I mean, don't want to lose something or want to get rid of something that you don't like. Yeah. So you have to accept the fact that life is things around you, things that we come across, constantly changing, impermanent, and they are not under your control. You cannot tell things to be like this or like that. So you then can stop your craving for things to be like this or like that, or people to be like this or like that. You have to look at everything like the weather. Can you control the weather? Can you tell when to rain or not to rain? When to get hot or when to get cold? You cannot. They just come with by themselves. They have condition that cause them to come into place. And when the condition that cause them to come into place disappear, then they disappear, they change. So it's the same thing with people and things. They are part of nature. They are all natural processes of phenomena. But we are deluded to separate them and to think that they are people like you and me that we can control. And actually, we cannot control them. We might be able to control them to a certain level or sometime, but not all the time. Even our own body, we cannot control it. Can you stop the body from getting sick when it wants to get sick? Okay. So we have to prepare our mind to be ready to accept anything that happens, rather than expecting things to be like this or like that. Because then you will be disappointed when you cannot get what you expect, and then you can become sad or miserable.
But sometimes we will forget that things are impermanent.
Yeah, that's why we have to constantly remind ourselves the three characteristic nature of things. Impermanent, especially impermanent and anatta. Anatta, they are natural phenomenon. They are not under anybody's control all the time. We might be able to control them some of the time, but not all the time. So control what you can and then let go of things that you cannot control. Whatever will be, will be. Que sera, sera. Right? And that's a philosophy song. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be.
Yeah.
I learned it when I was young, when I listened to it. Yeah, that's right. You don't know what's going to happen the next moment. Anything can happen. Just be ready to accept them when they come up, good or bad. The worst is that you're gonna lose your body, which is you're gonna lose it one day anyway. It's just a matter of when we're gonna lose our body. But the body is not us. This is one thing we can remind ourselves. The body is just a natural phenomenon, like the weather. They come and go. Our body also come and go like the weather. We are the mind that lasts forever. The invisible person in us is the mind. It is the one that uses the body to do things and to communicate with each other. I'm using my body to communicate with you, and you're using your body to communicate with me. So your body and my body are like smartphones, and we're just the user. The mind is the user. And you know the phone that once you use it for a while, it's gonna break down, and you have to change a new phone. Same way with the body. Look at the body like a smartphone. Then you won't feel stressful when you have to lose it. We feel stressful because we think we are the body, and once the body dies, we gonna go into extinction. We will never go into extinction. We just keep on getting a new body, getting a new phone. But getting new phone also can be a problem because you have to look after it, and it can get old, get sick, and die, causing you a lot of misery. So it's best not to use the phone at all. Don't communicate with anybody, then you don't need to have the phone. By practicing meditation, you'll find peace and contentment within yourself. Then you don't need the body to use it to as a way of getting happiness from other things or other people. You can be happy within yourself, within your own mind. Then you won't need a body. So then when you lose this body, then you won't go look after a new body anymore. Okay. So you need to practice a lot of mindfulness and meditation with the support of the precepts, the practice of morality, especially the 8 precepts if you want to meditate. You want to give up your sensual pleasures, cravings for sensual pleasures, so that you will have more time for meditation and have pleasure from your meditation practice instead.
I actually have been on 8 precepts for a while, so it helps my meditation practice.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because if you just skip the 5 precepts, then you can still watch TV, go to a movie, go to a party or whatever. But once you take the 8 precepts, you're totally shut out from the social world, the sensual pleasure world.
So that's why
Then the only thing you can do is just to meditate and to be happy and to get happiness from meditation.
Because I meditate, spend more time on meditation, so I can see that I have the desire to be as in, like, to want the meditation practice to be good or to be in a certain with my expectation. Like I want it to be good all the time. So that's why I asked Ajahn, what is the practical way to get rid of this kind of desire?
Well, some expectation are good to have. Like you want to get good result from your meditation. There's nothing wrong with that. But just don't be attached to it, that's all. Because you cannot say, okay, I want good practice from good result from meditation, then you will get it. You might get it, you might not get it. It depends on how you meditate. But you can expect, you can hope, but don't be attached to it, because you might not get it. It depends on how good your mindfulness is. If your mindfulness is good, you will probably get good result for your meditation. So you have to be practical, pragmatic, rather than what you call,
idealistic
or dreaming about things. You have to know the cause and effect. With this cause, you get this effect. So without this cause, you don't get this effect. So when meditation practice, you get good result with good mindfulness. Poor mindfulness give you poor result. So that's it. We all want to have nibbana, which is good aspiration. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's just that Don't be just attached to the result without paying attention to how to get there. The important thing is to pay attention to as to how to get there, and put the effort in on how to get there, not to get the result, because the result will come after you know how to get there. Once you work on it, then you get the result.
That's why sometimes I get upset with myself when I don't have time to practice.
Well, you have to look at the reality also of life. You still have other commitment or any other responsibility.
Mm.
So you have to work your way slowly or gradually, trying to rid of your responsibility or your obligation.
Mm.
So then you will be free to have more time for your meditation practice.
Okay.
So you have to think practically, not just like you say, idealistically.
Mm.
You have to think of the cause and effect. The Buddha constantly teaches us to beware of to work on the path, the noble eightfold path, not to dream of the result from practicing. If you practice correctly, you'll get the result, whether you like it or not, whether you want it or not. It's like when you eat, you don't expect to be full, right? You just keep on eating. If you just want to be full and not eating, you won't be full. So you have to cut. When you eat, just keep on eating, and then eventually your stomach become full, and then you stop eating because I cannot eat anymore. But if you don't eat at all and just dream about getting full, you'll never get full. Or expecting it to get full by simply because you want to get full.
Mm.
You have to put in the effort, put in the work of eating. Same way with the practice of meditation. You have to put in the effort, and then the result will come afterwards. It's like planting a tree. You want fruits from a tree, you first have to plant the tree. Once you plant it, you don't expect it to blossom the next day, right? It takes time for you. You have to work on watering the plant, looking after the plant, and so forth. And as the day passes by, eventually it will grow up and bear fruit. Okay.
Thank you very much, Ajahn. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Next, Aparachita from Dubai. I got your message about coming over.
Yes. Good evening, Rajan.
Okay.
Yes, I'm looking forward to actually seeing you in person. So,
What's the difference of seeing me now?
no, I know. I agree. Actually, I feel very fortunate that I can see you every week like this. It is
Yeah,
much more
because
connected.
as you can see in the video, people can only spend a few seconds with me, and then
True.
because we have a long line waiting to
Yes.
just to say hello.
Yes, but still, I just feel a good longing to say hello to you. And it's such an honor to know a human like you, because there are not that many. So that itself, I feel grateful. So nothing.
Okay,
Yes.
good. I just don't want you to be disappointed when you come over and say, "Oh, I only got a few seconds with him."
No, even a few seconds is okay. Even if you don't speak to me, I'll just be happy to see you. That's all.
Okay.
Because you give us so much time anyway. So thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
If you want the Dhamma, it's better to come in the room, the Zoom meeting. You get a
Yes.
lot more than just coming to see me and my residence, and just have a few seconds of saying, "Hi, how are you?"
And that is true. In all these years that I have actually attended you, I have received many, many gifts of Dhamma. So thank you.
Mhm.
And perhaps this just to visit you is more just my token of gratitude, nothing else, not to receive anything. So thank you.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Anything tonight you want to ask or
No,
mention?
I'm contemplate. You did tell me last time about looking at my cravings. And so I've been just watching them and sitting with the question, like, whenever I suffer, I know there's behind it, there's some craving. So just investigating and occasionally succeeding in letting go and occasionally taking a very long time to let go. So
Yeah, it depends on how strong your attachment to the things that you have to let go.
yes.
The stronger, then the harder, the longer it takes.
Yes, some are knotted and strong for sure, I realize. But I'm aware now, so I
Yeah,
will work on it. Yes.
good. You know where the problem is now. It's in your craving.
It is. It's everything is actually there.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
And I
Next.
look forward to seeing you. Yes.
Okay. Next, Alvin from Malaysia.
Namaskaram, Ajaan. I'm just listening in. No question tonight. Thank you.
Okay, Rohini from London or somewhere around there.
Good evening, Ajaan.
How are you? Good?
Very well, thank you. Ajaan, you said when you were practicing as a layperson and you chanted Satipatthana Sutta to calm the mind.
Yes.
And did you chant kind verbally?
Mentally. And the
Mentally.
translated version, I recite the English version, not the Pali version.
So you memorize it, memorize and then chant mentally.
Yeah, mentally. When I meditate, when my mindfulness is not strong enough yet, I cannot focus on the breath for long.
Yeah,
So
that's the same problem I have.
So I use the chanting or reciting of the sutta, keep my mind focused and more becoming more mindful that way. After finish chanting or reciting, I then can focus on the breath.
Thank you. That's what, see, when I sit, I can sit. I want to sit a little bit more than an hour or something. Then, but my mind is not. Mind goes, they slip away very often. So I was thinking.
Yes.
That's what I just wanted to see how can I stop this, and I just want to sit and meditate a bit longer to calm the mind.
You need to be more, you have to practice mindfulness all the time, not just while you're meditating.
Yeah.
Because eventually you'll find that the need to be mindful all the time is the prerequisite to a good meditation result.
Thank you.
So you want to be mindful from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep. Try to be mindful. Use having something to keep the mind from thinking, running away from the present.
Yeah. So I would, because for foundation of mindfulness is quite alone. So if I just memorize Kayanupassana, and then
you can do as much as you like.
Okay, thank you. And
I think I skipped some of the repetitions also. I think in the sutta there are a lot of repetition.
Yeah.
But you can skip those. But it's good because then you are studying the sutta. You are learning the path. This is about the path. Usually on the Samma Ditti and Samma Sangapo and Samma Samadhi level. On Samadhi and wisdom.
And I also want to thank you, Ajaan, very much, because my life changed a lot since I listened to your Dhamma talks. The way I look at things.
How does it change? In which way?
Change a lot. That means no attachment, family members. I used to worry a lot,
Mhm.
but I don't worry much now.
Good.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay. Keep on practicing.
Yeah, I'm also thinking of coming to Thailand, but I before I come, I wanted to attain some level of samadhi. Because that's what I'm trying. So
Yeah. If you're living alone, staying at your house is the best place for practice.
yeah, that's what I'm doing at the moment. I want to practice because my circumstances is quite good because I'm living alone and I'm retired, so I can practice at
You-
home peacefully.
You can live like a monk.
Yes,
You-
I'm on 8 precepts now for
Yeah.
more than 2 months now. I think I'm going to be on 8 precepts for the rest of my life.
Good. Very
Thank
good.
you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. Next, Philip from Malaysia.
Good evening, Ajaan. I'm here to listen. I have no questions tonight.
Okay. Go to
Thank you.
Marco from the Netherlands. Hi, Mark. You came a little late today.
Hi, Ajaan. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
All is good. Want to report my homework, if I may.
Sure, go ahead.
Again, this week, 2 days of eight precepts going well. Noticing improvement in my meditation. Have a question about that. I'm noticing now that I'm observing thoughts pop up, and I'm not really distracted by them. It's like I see that they come, but I let them go, and that's how I see them fall. But it feels like there's like multiple voices, and at the same time in the mind or something, it's like a thought goes somewhere, and it goes like, this is greed, or this is lust, or this is something else. Is that a proper way of practicing? Is that, or is that controlling the mind?
It's better to ignore it because when you are saying that it's good or bad, you're using your mind. You're using more thought. So you want to reduce using your thought. So it's better to ignore those thoughts that you didn't expect, you didn't want it, you didn't instigate them, and just focus on your meditation object, whatever it is. If you use your body, just focus on watching your body, whatever your body is doing, focus on that. And if the thoughts come up, then ignore them. Because when you start to reply to them, then you're actually going away from your meditation object already.
Is that then more the wisdom practice after meditation, that you would go and explore where the thoughts are coming from?
You don't need to, because they come from your mind. So, and it's something you don't want them to appear, because they will block your progress in meditation. So the only way to deal with them is to ignore them, because your mindfulness is not strong enough yet to stop all thoughts, so they can still come up. But if you pay attention to them and talk to them, then you're creating more thought that way.
Okay.
So you want to reduce the thought as much as possible and focus on something that you don't need to think, like your body, just watching what your body is doing, for instance.
Okay. So is it possible, maybe because I've been completely not watching any entertainment or anything, or TV, listening to music, that by not doing so, you get more mindfulness and focus, and that's why I'm now seeing those thoughts more? Is that also possible? Because I don't think that in the past, when I started doing the meditation, that I could actually, I mentioned there were thoughts, I was just getting drowsy and just nodding off, really.
I don't think not watching those things can make you become more mindful. I think mindful comes from your focus on something, like your breath or your mantra or your body.
Okay.
Then the more you're focused, then the more you'll become more aware of things inside your mind. So
Okay.
But this is not yet the time to pay attention to them. You want to clear your mind, empty your mind with everything by just simply fixing your mind on one object first. We want to get to samadhi first. We want to get to jhana first before we analyze things that comes up in the mind. This come up later on, but right now not the time to do it because it will block your progress to get to jhana.
Okay. And when in the I guess I now know the answer already to this question as well. When I'm meditating and I'm sitting and I'm hearing sounds around me, I notice the sounds, but it's the same answer. Then keep focusing on the breath, right? Keep
That's right.
focusing on the
Don't be
body.
distracted. Don't be
Yeah.
distracted. Everything that appears is considered them to be distraction that you should not pay attention to.
Okay. So it's indeed a storm that I'm trying to
You want to
let
focus
down.
the mind to one pointedness. We call one pointedness or singularity, merely
Yeah.
knowing. And if you keep paying attention to other things, then your mind becomes distracted, not focused, not
Yeah.
concentrated.
Thank you, Tanajan. And I'm also noticing, so I had another situation where somebody came up to me asking me why I was so stressed because I wasn't so smiling like I was before. And I'm noticing that, but now I'm feeling good. Now I'm actually feeling peaceful and calm inside. So I'm wondering, like, how is it possible that people from the outside perceive me differently than before, but at the same time, they seem so focused on how I'm feeling as opposed to looking what they are themselves. And that's what I think I'm observing now, that in the past I was also way too much focused on the outside as opposed to really looking inside. So I'm trying to keep my mindfulness in everything that I'm doing, even working where possible. But paying attention to my breath is something that I'm doing constantly. And is it possible that one of the side effects of that, I read from a monk that he was focusing on his heartbeat as an object of meditation. And while I was doing that in the past, I had a lot of fear of having a heart attack. And now I noticed that actually paying attention to the heartbeat was actually very calming, and I have the feeling it actually slowed down. Is that one of the side effects too of feeling so peaceful?
Well, if you stay focused on something and stop your mind from thinking, then the mind becomes peaceful that way. So it can be any object besides the object mentioned in the scripture. If you find some object that can calm your mind with, then you can use those objects. But the goal is to stop thinking. See? When you're focused on something, then when you cannot think, then this is how the mind becomes calm. Your thought is the one that keeps stirring up the mind up, making it restless and agitated. See? So with no thought, then there's no agitator. So the mind becomes peaceful, not restless. But the method of calming your mind is up to you. If you find some object good to you, that you can use it to calm your mind with, then it's okay. Even if not being mentioned in the scripture.
Yeah. Thank you, Ajaan.
Yeah, just remind yourself that you're on the first stage of your trip. So just right now is to calm your mind, to empty your mind, to stop your thoughts. Don't worry about the next step, which is vipassana, seeing anicca, dukkha, anatta in the body, in the feeling, or in the mind itself. This come later on. You first need the tool to be able to see those things later on.
Is that also because I'm craving that I want to fast results? That's probably the problem.
Could be, or not understanding the path, how to proceed correctly. Most people don't understand. They think they can practice mindfulness, meditation, and wisdom all at the same time. By sitting, be mindful, close your eyes, get jhana, then get to the Four Noble Truths all in the same instant.
Fair enough. Thank you, Tanajan. And other question regarding merit. So I like to read Jatakas for my wife. Is that good merit? Because I'm also reading the stories of the Buddha, and I'm really liking it.
You can consider it to be the gift of Dhamma.
Gift of Dhamma.
Yeah. Instead of reading her the fairy tales, you read the Dhamma story instead. Because the Dhamma story has some moral behind it, teaching.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying them. I'm amazed at how many there are, and I'm actually sad in a way that there's so much still to learn and read. And I think that that's the same problem with my thinking, that I think too much and I want progress. So I try to read as much as I can, and I'm not really
But you
standing
don't
still.
need to know it if you just want to practice meditation. But this is a more like a additional knowledge for you, but not essential for your meditation. So I don't want people to misunderstand that they have to read all these stories.
No, it's more that I'm liking it.
I never read those stories at all. My confession, really.
And yet still you see the you already see it anyway. That's but it's just that it's interesting to see the way some stories touch you, the way some stories you actually can see yourself in, which is what amazes me, that these stories are so old, but they still are current.
Yeah, resonate.
Yeah. So I really enjoy
all
that.
the teaching of the Buddha are considered to be timeless.
Yeah.
They are applicable for all ages. They never run out of date.
Absolutely.
Okay. Anything else?
And one last question. So because my knees hurt a lot after my meditation and not during my meditation, is it also okay to sit like on a chair to do the meditation instead of trying to sit for lotus?
Yes, you can sit in any position you like.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Tanajan.
Okay, you're welcome. Next, O Sourcing from Malaysia. O Sourcing from Malaysia.
Good evening, Tan Ajahn. Tonight I have no questions. Thank you, Tan Ajahn.
Okay. Kof from California.
Hello, Tanajan. No questions either today. Thank you.
Okay, Coxen from Singapore.
Yeah, Prajan, no questions. Paying my homage to you. That's all.
Okay, Diana from Canada. Are you near Toronto or are you living in Toronto?
Namo Buddhaya, Ajaan Suchart. Yes, I'm about on a highway. It's about an hour north from Toronto.
Okay.
A highway is like a fast road that you take to drive like 100 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, freeway. In America,
Yeah,
they call it freeway. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, anything?
Yeah. Yes, I wanted to review this mindfulness during the day that we spoke of before. As I am going about my day, that I how do, just to confirm that I understand correctly how to experience mindfulness of the body, because I know we spoke about it before one time. So for instance, like if I'm washing the dishes, like I see my hands washing the dishes, but I also feel my hands washing the dishes. Or like I'm sitting down right now and I'm aware that my body is like touching the floor. Like, is this the mindfulness that we're talking about?
Just watching what the body is doing, basically. If
But
you're
watching with the eyes, or like
yes, watching with your eyes, then it goes through your mind at the same time. It forces your mind to look, see. It's your mind that is looking through the eyes.
So what? And then when I'm lying down and my eyes are closed, but I'm aware of my body, then am I still like?
Then you can switch to watching your breath.
Oh, okay. Because I find a lot of the time that I'm just aware of the feeling in my body, not necessarily like the anicca sensation like we would do in the wisdom practice, but just kind of like aware that I'm in a space, like that's how I've been practicing. So I was wanting to ask about that.
No, this is not mindfulness of feeling, mindfulness of the body.
So mindfulness of the body means you are just watching
know what you do, what the body is doing.
Like walking, for instance.
Yeah, walking, watch your step when you walk. Make sure you don't fall, you don't run into something, or slip into a hole or something. Be careful, be mindful, be careful. That's what it means.
Yeah. And when I'm stepping down, like I'm aware of the ground on the soles of my feet, is that also mindfulness?
You don't need to go that far. Just make sure that you stay with the body. Your mind stay with the body, and not go think about your mother or your daughter or something. That's all.
Yes. So that's the next question I wanted to bring up, is that a lot of the times, like the mind is not just with the body. It's like having a thought about a tree, let's say, if I'm going for a walk in the woods, or remembering something, or if I'm speaking with somebody, then I become aware of other things rather than just my body or just my breath.
Then you have to be aware of whatever you do. If you're talking to someone, you have to be aware of your talking. And be aware when someone talking to you, you have to be aware of what they are saying to you. So you stay for. But this is not good for mindfulness practice. Mindfulness practice is good for you to be alone, alone and isolated. In seclusion.
In seclusion. Yes, so basically I've tried to just bridge it a little bit if I'm in a social setting, and just to, I'm not always talking and I'm not always listening. So I try to be with my breath more, and I try to incorporate Buddha also. Like, let's say if I'm listening to someone and I'm not liking what they're saying, instead of getting caught up in reaction and like an argument, I just try to find that distance. And it actually, I wasn't sure where it was going to lead me, but actually, because I wasn't like engaging, it kind of like diffused the situation, and then the conversation kind of diffused and we separated, which was a good thing, because that's exactly what I wanted to do. But I didn't want to be rude and say, well, excuse me, I don't want to speak with you right now. So
but the Buddha says it's better not to socialize, not to mingle.
Yeah.
If you want to be a meditator, you have to be a loner.
This is for the class that I've signed to my daughter and myself to go to have a social outdoor setting, and to demonstrate that she can, because she's still young, right? She's 7. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out like some things that I've signed her up before for socializing. I realized like the benefit may have not been as great as it sounded initially, but now at least I've had that experience, because I was feeling really torn whether to sign her up for these social events for which I have to also attend, in order to provide the proper human development. And there's also a lot of social pressure for that too, for us to socialize our children, make sure they're part of the society. And it's not something that I can speak in that moment where I could, without conflict, share that, oh, we're actually spending more time alone kind of thing. So I try to just provide some exposure, but at the same time to try to do it more mindfully instead of mindlessly, at least.
Yes, just be mindful of your reaction when you socialize. Try to react as little as possible, especially emotional reaction. If you want to react with calm and maybe with loving kindness, for instance.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess this conversation right now brings me to my own personal fear that I may not socialize my daughter enough, like, because I guess there's a fear there, because if I'm always choosing like solitary activities like woodwalking and nature exploration, things like that, and
maybe it's good for her. Why do you worry so much about socializing?
Yeah.
Socializing is really a problem nowadays. When people socialize, they tend to get into some kind of a problem.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So it's only socialize when you really have to. If you don't need to, then just stay apart.
Mm-hmm. So what about yeah. Okay, I'll keep investigating to see how that could be worked out, because sometimes, you know, she asks for company, like especially.
Okay, you have to decide how much socializing she needs and then give it to her.
Yeah, I decided this year I was only going to I was going to reduce it, because summertime I realized you know the you know, in the distance the socializing looked like it was going to provide her with growth and development, and now that I've done some events, I've realized that it was just an idea. It didn't really afterwards bear any weight, more or less. Okay. And just, I guess, trying to see how to keep the mindfulness and the Dhamma present when we engage with children and other parents.
Yes, some form of socializing can be beneficial, and some of them can be damaging.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to know which one is good or bad.
Mm-hmm. I guess that's what I'm trying to learn this year. I signed up for some like nature groups, forest groups, where the focus is more on nature and the rhythm is slower. So the discussion is more nature based, because she still needs to. I guess this is where I feel the social pressure, you know, to provide the environment where she's learning to socially present herself and like stand up for herself if she needed to, or even learn how to just separate and do her own thing, you know, in a social setting. I don't know. I guess
it's more important to teach her the basic human quality, humanity, you know, like loving kindness, be nice, be kind, be honest, this sort of thing, morality, more than about socializing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess for socializing, I mean to have the setting where she can apply those things rather than just her and I having a discussion and understanding it, but for her to apply it. Like, let's say.
Okay, in due time she will be socializing herself, so don't worry. When she grows up, why not just prepare her the basic equipment or tools to deal with socializing, which is morality, precept, charity. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I could, yeah, that's a good way to balance my concern. I think I got my answer, to just put more weight onto those things and let the world do their own thing. And
yes, eventually she'll be herself, and she will be socializing or not socializing, depending on what she wants to do. But if we give her the proper tools to deal with things, then she can then live happily and successfully.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So teach her sila, precept, morality, teaching her the four Brahma Vihara.
The four Brahma Vihara is metta, karuna, equanimity,
Mudita,
mudita,
ubeka, which is equanimity.
how it looks like for herself, and to apply it to her family and others like that.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Anything else?
Well, I often wonder, like, how come I find my meditation more conducive when I am walking in the woods as opposed to walking in the city. So
Because
like
the surrounding is much more conducive, no distraction. When you walk in the city, you have all sort of distraction coming in through your sensual awareness. You know. The sight and sound of the city is more distracting than the sight and sound of the forest. That's why monks go live in the forest. They don't live in the city.
Yes. Yeah, and sometimes I almost even wonder, like, if there's some, I don't know, some tree spirit or some land spirit that is there that makes it more conducive.
No. It's just the type of sensual objects. In the city, they are created by the defilements here.
Oh,
The
okay.
building, the sound, and everything come from the defilement. They are based on the defilement. Why, when you're in the forest, it's nature, not defilement.
Okay.
And
Okay.
nature is neutral. See, why in the city it's defilement, and then it's to get more defilement in your mind to come up.
Yeah, I wondered about the thing because I wasn't sure, like, if it was just my own mind, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Has
Why?
nothing to do with the spirit or anything like that. Just
Yeah, some Jataka tale, when I watched with my daughter, it talks about the past life of the Buddha being a tree spirit and saying this and that, and just more magical sounding.
okay. All right. Next, we'll go to California again, to Nita and Saket. I heard you also planning to come over.
Yes, Ajaan. We are planning to come in December and pay our respects to you.
Okay, looking forward.
Likewise, Ajaan. We are very happy and excited to be meeting you even for a few seconds.
Anything today?
Yes, Ajaan, I had a question. A couple of weeks ago, I had discussed with you how coming back to work after a long weekend is not a great experience. And you'd suggested that maybe we should consider retiring. And we have explored, or we are exploring that option. And we are thinking maybe next year we'll be able to kind of quit our jobs, maybe move to India, because that's where my parents are, and also moving to a place like Thailand seems difficult due to visa and immigration and all of those reasons. And we wanted some advice in terms of what's a good way to retire well, or what sort of advice would you give us, somebody who's planning to retire, so that we plan things better?
Well, first you have to know what you want to do after retirement. You have to have a plan in mind. Not just retire and then don't know what to do. So you have to have a plan. Like when I quit my job, I have a plan. I want to meditate all day for 1 year. So that's what I did. As soon as I quit my job, the next day I start practicing mindfulness all day and meditating, and stay at home, keep myself locked up in the house, not going out as much as possible. I might have to go out sometime, but I want to keep it to the minimum and just concentrate on my meditation practice, studying the Dhamma teaching, reading Dhamma books, and walking meditation, being mindful, doing my regular activity, whatever I do, I stay mindful, stay in the present. Don't let my mind go to the past or to the future. Don't let my mind think about this or think about that. And this is what I've been. So you have to have a plan, a purpose, what you want to do. Then once you start to retire, then you can start doing what you plan to do. So how much time you want to put in for your practice? What level of practice you want to practice? You want to spend more time on charity work down there, or you want to spend more time on meditation work? So you have to. These two works are contradicting. They are opposing. If you do charity work, it will be difficult for you to do meditation work. If you want to do meditation work, then you might have to give up your charity work, or do your charity work in an easier way, like not using up much of your time, like just sending the money to an organization or something whenever you feel like doing charity. Then you can have all your time for meditation practice.
Thank you, Ajaan. And Ajaan, I was also curious, is the location important? Because we keep thinking whether this is a good city or that's a better city, and different parameters in different towns, or what should we consider for location?
Well, if you're Buddhist, you want to hang around Buddhist people better, because you think in the same way, you do in the same thing. So no contradiction, no opposition. If you go live in a different community with different religion, then you might find it difficult. So the people you live with has to be like-minded, think like you, do like you. The Buddha said you have to choose people when you live. You have to choose the location, whether it's conducive for your meditation practice or not, whether it's noisy or whether it's crowded or whether it's more rural, more forestry. These are the things you want to consider. And the food that you eat, they can become a factor also. Are they good? The food that you eat, you have any problem with the food that you have to eat or not? And also the climate can be also become a factor in your decision. What type of climate are you more accustomed to? Hot or cold or wet? But most importantly, is the people that you congregate with. Are they Dhamma wise or are they Dhamma foolish? The Buddha says, seek the Dhamma wise, not the foolish, for companion, for the best one are the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. If you couldn't find anybody alive, just go to the Tripitaka for advice, for teaching. Okay, these are the fact that you have to consider people, location, climate, food, and I can't think of anything else. Four basically that can affect your practice. You mentioned that coming to Thailand is difficult. That's right, because you have to apply for visa, and there's a lot of problem with that. And staying in your home country when you have no problem with visa, and the language of people also can become difficult, because not everybody speaks English like me in Thailand, and lots of people won't be able to communicate with you. So you might have to be forced to learn a new language. So that can then be distracting, taking away your time and resources for meditation practice. Okay.
Yes, Thanajan. We were thinking that we will set our base in India and then whenever possible, we will come to Thailand based on our visa duration. We can stay in different monasteries
Yes,
and
yes.
provide our service.
If you still need to visit different monastery, different teacher, then you can come like on an occasional trip to energize your practice.
Thanajan, in your book, you had mentioned that when you started practicing at your home for 1 year, there were times when you felt loneliness and then you fought the loneliness by wisdom. Sometimes I wonder whether I'll be able to do that or if I'll get distracted and I feel anxious about it.
Yes, if you can think of anicca, anatta, anicca, dukkha, anatta, on the things that you think can give you good feeling or happiness, then it can dissuade you from wanting to go toward those things. Yeah. But sometimes we forget, we get our delusion take over the mind and trying to fool us to go out and go for the sensual pleasure thing. But after we go and we come back we realize that we fail and we didn't gain anything from going. We're just losing time for our meditation practice, and our progress. It can also be rolled back. So this can become a lesson to you. Next time you're fool to try to go out again and say, you don't benefit, you lose. So maybe with this experience, it can also help to prevent you from going out the next time.
And Thanajan, if there is this social pressure of meeting with family members, hanging out or having a meal with them, should I try to decline it, or should I just go and meet with them and come back? And like, how should I handle that?
Well, it depends on how much you want to devote your time for meditation. If you want to devote more time, you might have to give up the other things. But if you think you can spare or share the time for other people also and for your meditation practice, then you do that. It's up to you. It depends on how far you are on your path. The further on your path, then the less you want to have anything to do with people. And you can do it easily without feeling any guilt. But if you're still not that far ahead, you might feel guilty if you're not giving time for other people. So it depends on how far you are on your path. It will tell you how much you can let go of your attachment to people and things.
And what they're thinking.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter because we're all gonna end up dying one day, and all this thing will just be gone. And so what they think or what you think, it's just temporarily. Everything is anicca, right? But we don't think that way. We didn't think that way, so we think everything is gonna be permanent. Okay.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome. Next, Professor Ken. Hi. You're not teaching today?
Good afternoon, Thanajan. No teaching on a Tuesday, fortunately.
Good. Anything?
No questions today, Thanajan. Just listening. Thank you.
Okay. Nining from Indonesia.
Ajahn, good evening, Ajahn. Ajahn, I have a question. In loving kindness meditation, how to radiate? How to radiate metta to a person? Do I have to visualize the bright light and then lightening the person, or I just visualize the face of the person and then I recite loving kindness words to them?
No, you misunderstand When
Yeah.
you're using mindfulness and meditation object, it's just another meditation object to calm your mind with. That's all. But when you want to radiate loving kindness, you have to be actually in person, meet that person first, and then you can show your loving kindness by saying hi to them or giving some candies or some gifts to show your loving kindness.
Yeah, sometimes we are in the class of the meditation and then
Then you don't do any loving kindness. Everybody, this meditation is different from the practice of loving kindness. It's two different things. You got them misunderstood. You can use loving kindness as meditation object. But when you want to radiate or give kindness to people, you have to actually see them first. Or sending something if you don't see them. Like you're sending gifts to somebody. Like during Christmas, this is when you radiate loving kindness. Yeah.
oh, so if I reset, may I be free from physical and mental suffering, and then my family be free of physical or mental suffering. Is it not correct?
Not good. It's just a meditation, a form of keeping your mind from thinking.
Oh,
Like reciting a sutta, like reciting a mantra, Bhutto, Bhutto. That's all it is. Just a way of meditating to calm your mind with. But it happens to be also the practice that you have to use when you're meeting people. See, when you meet people, then you have to radiate loving kindness. When you see people, you want to smile at them, not to frown at them, for instance. You want to make people happy. That's what loving kindness means. If somebody do you wrong, you forgive them. You don't get angry or try to take revenge on them.
so when we do sitting meditation and using the metta bhavana,
You're just meditating for samadhi, for jhana, that's all.
oh, I see. So
So if you want your mother to be happy, you take your mother out to some place she likes to go.
yeah.
Or
Oh,
go visit her if if she doesn't live with you, go visit her, buy her something. This is radiating loving kindness. You have to do it by action, not just by merely meditating.
oh, I see now. Ajahn, if I go to Wat Yan and I meditate in the mountain, should I send the email to Ajahn assistant also?
Yes, you can contact her and she can give you all the info you need.
Yeah, because I want to practice and feel how is it feel to be alone, just to be alone, to be not to have distraction with other people. I want to know how it is like.
Well, you are alone now, aren't you? I don't see you. Just lock yourself up in the room. You don't have to come all over here just to be alone.
But my mom, I have to accompany her, have lunch and also have dinner, and I have also empty house in other location. But if I stay there, my friend and also my family also will contact me by phone, and then I cannot reject them all.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, because if I far away from them, yeah, so I have a good reason, and I don't want to hurt them, to reject all
I see.
them.
Okay, I understand. All right.
Yeah, Ajahn. Okay,
Good.
I will send the email to fix the day.
Okay.
Okay, see you soon. Maybe next month.
Okay.
Yeah, Ajahn. Thank you.
Next be Ravin from Bangkok.
Hi, good evening, Prajan.
How's your practice coming along?
It's okay. It changes from time to time. Sometimes I'm more calm, sometimes I'm less calm. But at least I'm able to sustain, some sort of calm, but it's not for very long. So I'm trying to maintain mindfulness for longer. the one thing I noticed, Prajan, during my meditation practice is sometimes my mind will wander and I'm able to bring it back, but it doesn't last, it doesn't remain peaceful for as long as I desire. So would you suggest it'd be better if I try to change, would changing posture help, or should I try to maintain the same posture as long as possible?
Once you meditate, you don't want to switch posture during meditation. I think the problem is your mindfulness is not strong enough due to due to your position, your working condition, and so forth. Doesn't allow you to develop more mindfulness. You need to go on a retreat, 7-day retreat or something like that, to really give a boost to your meditation practice. When you can be alone, and then you can concentrate all your effort and time on developing mindfulness throughout the day and night, except when you go to sleep. Then when you meditate, you'll find it that you can meditate longer, can become calmer and easier, quicker. But without this retreat thing, if you try to do it during your normal day, your working day, you will have very little time to develop mindfulness, to clear your mind from thinking about people and things or work. When you meditate, this thing keep bombarding your mind.
Actually, Prajan, now that you mentioned it, I find it easier to meditate on weekends than on work days. So I've tried to increase my meditation frequency by meditating on weekday evenings, but I find it more difficult versus weekends because on weekends I'm not working, so I don't have to think about much and I find it easier. So maybe you're right that weekends are like a
Yes,
retreat, right? Because I'm not working.
but you have to overcome your sensual pleasure and desire. Because normally on the weekend you want to enjoy your sensual pleasure. So you have to set up a plan. Say maybe Saturday is a day for meditation and mindfulness practice, nothing else. And try to see if you can stick to that plan. You don't have a plan, then you'll never get it. You never do it. Because your defilement will keep pulling you away to go do something else. But if you have a plan and you stick to your plan, regardless of what happened, then you probably will be able to do it. Try it.
Yes.
Try it.
Plan,
Set
yes,
out a
plan
plan
and
for it.
effort.
The Buddha said Buddhists should have 1 day off for practice. We call Uposatha day, one pra. That's the day when you stop working, stop going after sensual pleasures, keep the 8 precepts and meditate, practice mindfulness all day long.
Observance day.
Yeah, observance day. That's the day which can then do full-time practice. I mean, we're not working and we don't have to think about work. You have to isolate yourself, go to a forest retreat somewhere, or unless you live alone and you don't have to be distracted by other people. You want to be segregated from the world, isolated.
Yes, because the world is full of distractions.
Mhm.
And I realized how easy it is to get distracted.
Because the times you need to practice mindfulness, it's like the runway you need to run the plane before you can take off. See? The shorter the runway, then the harder for the plane to take off because it could not accumulate the speed it needs to fly. So the same way with meditation, you need a long runway for mindfulness.
Yes,
If
I
you-
realized that.
You're not a chopper, in which you can fly without a runway.
I think choppers are probably noble disciples. They can become calm whenever they want.
Or maybe in your past life, you already had jhana before. So when you meditate this life, you can just sit down anytime, anywhere, and enter into jhana right away. Like the Buddha, when he was a young man, when he was a boy, I think one day he was left alone sitting under the tree, and all the servants around him just went and do some other thing. He was left completely alone. So when he was alone, his mind suddenly just fell into the jhana without him even expecting it or desiring it, desiring for it. It just go in there because the condition were right for jhana to happen. That's how strong his mindfulness was. So this way, you don't need you don't need a runway. You don't need to practice mindfulness all day long. For some people, they are like that. They have practiced this before in the past life, and this thing carry on with them to the next life.
Yes, I realize that, and I think I'm lucky enough to say that at least most of the time that I meditate, I'm able to achieve some sort of calm, even though it's not full jhana. I still believe it's better than nothing at all, because at least after I come out of meditation, I think my mindfulness is clearer than before I meditate. But I know it's only the starting point. I know that a lot more needs to be done. So
yes, you need more to do. That's all. You have to get to the one point at this point in which the mind just completely alone, just merely knowing, with all the thoughts and emotions disappear.
then maintain
Okay.
it for as long as possible.
Yeah. Then you might change your lifestyle. You probably want to have more time for your meditation and less time for socializing or sensual pleasures.
Yes, and then the 8 precepts, right? If possible, try to take them at least when
Yes, on
when
observance
possible.
days, you have to keep the 8 precepts. You have to stop going after sensual pleasures.
Yes, Prajan, I will try to see what I can do to adapt my lifestyle. Thank you.
Okay. This is not a command, just a recommendation. So it's up to you.
No, but it's a good one. I will try to see what I can do. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Next, Sarasi from Geneva, Switzerland.
Hello, Ajaan. I hope you are doing fine.
Good,
Good
thank
evening.
you. I didn't see your sister in here yet. Maybe she came in late, come in later.
Maybe she's maybe busy today sometimes.
No problem. What can I do for you tonight?
Yes, Ajaan. When we say that everything is of the nature to arise, is of the nature to cease, and everything arises with a cause according to Paticca Samuppada. So how can we talk about this in relation to Nibbana? Does it also arise with a reason? I mean, the reason, for instance, like the person who attained Nibbana, he has understood the reality. So that's the reason. And does it cease? No, right? I just want to.
The person see reality and then stop all cravings. No cravings left because you cannot crave after reality because reality is not something that you can always have whenever you crave for. Okay? And when you cannot have what you crave for, you can still have suffering. So he sees that everything is anicca, dukkha, anatta. When he sees that, then all craving will then stop because craving will lead to suffering sooner or later because everything is anicca, everything is anatta. So when there's no craving left, then the mind is completely still and peaceful and happy all the time.
So Nibbana arises, but it does not cease, no?
Nibbana is your mind that changed from restless, agitated, craving into a mind that's peaceful and contented. That's all. Having no cravings left. Like someone who overcome his addiction to things, to drugs, to coffee, to anything. When you can overcome this craving for things, then your mind then will not be bombarded by a sense of restlessness or agitation from the cravings that you have. So it's just the same mind that you have right now that will become nibbana. Right now it's not nibbana, it's samsara. It goes after the sensual pleasure. So it will keep being reborn in the sensual realms of existence.
Okay.
So you have to practice meditation. First you need to get to jhana, because with jhana then you have the mind will be strong to be able to resist your cravings when you investigate and find that the cause of your dukkha, your suffering is come from your own cravings. If you have jhana, you have upekkha, you will have the strength to resist your craving when they come up. And when you resist all cravings, then eventually all craving will disappear. They won't come up again. And when there are no craving left in your mind, then that's nibbana.
During meditation,
the mind that doesn't go take up birth anymore.
Can we say, Ajahn, during meditation, when I just observe my thoughts, I sometimes feel that even my mind is not under my control. Some of the thoughts which come up, they are like, I feel like I don't have, they seem like they don't have any ownership to me, like they are very abruptly coming. Does it like, can we say even the mind is not mine or something like that, to that effect?
When you meditate, you can control your mind temporarily, but not permanently. You can stop it temporarily with mindfulness. But you cannot remain in jhana all the time. Eventually, the strength of your mindfulness become weakened, and then the mind will then start to work again, to think and create cravings again. It's only when you use wisdom that you can get rid of the cravings, but you cannot get rid of the activities of the mind. But you can guide the mind to function or to think in a beneficial way, not in a harmful way. Instead of letting it think in the way of the defilement, it will lead the mind go think without defilement, with loving kindness, with the Brahma Vihara, with loving kindness, with compassion, with sympathetic joy, and with equanimity. But you cannot. The mind is like a natural phenomenon. It keep working, but you just learn how to control it, learn how to harness it to go in teach it to go in the beneficial direction, not harmful direction. Like the mind of Buddha after he became enlightened, he still think, he still feel, but he can control this. He can direct his thought and feeling in the beneficial way, not in the harmful way.
Okay, Ajahn.
But right now you cannot control your mind because you don't have mindfulness or wisdom to control it or to guide it to go in the way that it should be going. Because your mind is under the influence of your defilement. It's your defilement that keeps guiding your mind towards samsara.
Yes.
Understand?
Yes, Prajan.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Prajan.
So when you meditate, don't let your delusion or your defilement fool you by saying the mind is not controlled, so there's no need to meditate.
Yes.
they can be controlled, but temporarily they can.
It takes time to get control of the mind. I feel
Yes.
even the mind is not under my control. Like when I start to meditate, it takes a lot, quite a while to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. I wish you good health,
You're
Ajahn.
welcome.
Thank you.
Next, Christine Coe from Penang.
Good evening, Tanajan.
Yes, how are you?
I'm good. I just come in to pay respect to Tanajan. I have no question.
Okay. I'll go to PL and Indira from Toronto. Last week you came in and you went out, huh? Didn't have a chance to speak.
Good morning from Toronto, Thanajan. Yes, we've always been there, but we've been listening to you and learning a lot. But sometimes, because of the patience, we had to, go a little early. PL had to go, but it's so nice to see you, and we are learning a lot. Thank you so much, Thanajan.
Okay, no question tonight?
No questions, Thanajan.
Okay. I'll
Thank you.
I'll go
Teran
to
Sat.
Vancouver now, to Sri and check. Hi, Sri, and check.
Hello, Tanajan.
Greetings, Tanajan.
Good evening, Tanajan.
Yes.
Tanajan, thank you for kind of reminding me, like, sometimes like minimizing like social interactions. Because before that, I always think like, oh, we need social, with others. And that really helpful from you when you say sometimes we don't need.
There are good social and bad social. You just have to know to choose the right one. Like our meeting here is good social, because we learn Dhamma. Dhamma is beneficial, not harmful to the mind. But if you go socialize in a bar or in a pub, then that's bad.
Can we talk about Dhamma in the bar?
You don't talk Dhamma in the bar. Dhamma people don't go to bars. They go to temples. You want to or go to a Zoom meeting like this one.
Yeah, that's really helpful. Yeah. Because normally like socials like leads to a lot of problem. What I mean is like it's not Dhamma social interactions.
It's more about greed, hate, and delusion. People talking about making more money, making more status and so forth. And they don't talk about giving, charity, giving about morality. They don't talk about meditation.
And
right, quite obvious. If you think about it, it's quite obvious. People who go to bar don't come to our Zoom meeting, definitely. Or do you go both places?
I was thinking going to the bar and talk Dhamma to most people. Yeah. So it's all about we want to keep our mind, always talk about Dhamma, or yeah.
Yes, Dhamma is good for the mind. It develops the mind to a higher level. We are more to a happier level, higher level. So do you socialize?
A bit.
A bit.
Yeah, a bit like
Sometimes like I think I'm a good listener. But when I go like let's say we go swimming, we go for to yeah, and then I find that people like to talk their problems to me. I'm just listen quiet. But I think I'm a really good listener. So people really like to tell me their problems. But sometimes I try to just avoid.
People need to let off steam. You got
I-
pressure inside when they're not happy.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm.
Yeah, so sometimes I'm just maybe give my time as a dana.
Yeah. Give sympathy or empathy.
Mm.
Okay, anything you would like to ask?
One thing, Tan Ajahn, when I know that we use asubha is when we have lust, but how about when we have greed?
Sexual lust or sexual greed is the same thing. It has to be sexual when you use a super.
Yeah, but I mean it's not sexual greed. It's
I
like
mean, greed for money, and you
yeah,
think of, you have to use death contemplation. How much
yeah.
can you take with you when you die? Ask yourself.
Not much, nothing.
Okay, so there's no need to greed for money.
Okay.
You forget death, right? When you greed for money, or you greed for that, for status or whatever. You want to become a president or something. How long can you become a president for?
Mm.
Oh, so you contemplate death. Okay.
Death, yeah. Usually we can stop your greed.
Like how do we contemplate death? Like okay, imagine let's say if I die, nothing I can bring it.
Yeah, you can die anytime. As soon as you stop breathing, you're dead. And you cannot. No one can guarantee you when you stop breathing. Can you? Can you find somebody who can guarantee you that?
I was trying to give you a call at that time.
I can't guarantee you. I can't guarantee my own life. How can I guarantee you? Anything could happen. Something might be building up in your body you're not knowing yet. Yeah. And suddenly it just pop up like a volcano. And suddenly you have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what that contemplation is about. It's about anicca. Life is anicca, impermanent, uncertain. You cannot predict when life gonna end. So this will stop a lot of greed, stop a lot of attachment to things and people. What happens if you die tonight? You don't wake up tomorrow morning. Have you ever imagined that? Ask yourself this question.
Yeah, but not always.
Okay. Or ask this question: are you ready to die yet?
Not really.
Why not?
Maybe not enough death contemplation. I think sometimes when I do death contemplation, I feel that okay, I feel okay, but I think like when the real situation happens is because this is just thinking, right? Like it's not real.
You need equanimity. You need jhana to be able to accept death peacefully and calmly. Right now, your craving is blocking your equanimity. It's your craving. I want to live longer. I want to live forever.
Yeah.
I don't want to die now.
Oh. The craving is blocking the equanimity. Oh.
Yeah, that's why you meditate to stop your craving. When you stop your craving, then your equanimity will come up. When you come out of meditation, your craving come up again, so your equanimity can be blocked. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, is bad.
So, you,
That.
so now you can become less greedy, right? Or you still continue to be greedy.
Sorry, Ajahn?
I mean, from now on, you can be less greedy now, right? Or you can will you continue on to be greedy as before?
Yeah. Less greedy since we met you. I feel, like yeah, I think less greedy. I think since I hear your Dhamma.
Yes, but with that contemplation, this should reduce more greed, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think yeah, it's very effective.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's very effective. And now let me think it over, because I remember when I was by my mom's death bed. At that time, I remember I told myself, "Oh yeah, the moment before you die, like we really cannot take away anything."
Yes.
That was the moment. But of course, like my mind is not strong enough, so after a while, I forgot.
Yeah, cannot always
Because
remember.
I was there by that bit.
Yeah, when you forget, then the greed comes up again.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why the Buddha reminds us to think of death every day,
Yeah, and he said like every
every
breath.
in and out breath.
Yeah, wow, that's a lot. Wow.
Then you don't
That's quite-
forget. See, you don't forget. The point is not to forget death. We tend to forget death. We
Yeah.
might think of it, and then the next moment it's gone from the mind again.
Like the Buddha standard is like every breath is. That's why I always yeah.
That's so important.
His standard is like yeah.
Then you will be safe from greed if you constantly think of death, then there will be no room for greed for you to come up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, that remind me of that moment. So
But that can be also harmful to people's mind that is not strong enough yet also. So you have to see whether you can take this type of contemplation or not. If you think of that and you start to become terrified, then this is not yet for you. But you might use it just as one instance when you feel like you're being greedy or you're attached to something. And if you can use that contemplation to stop, this is okay. But if you think and you start to become fearful, become terrified, then maybe it's not yet ready for you to think of it constantly. Sometimes, I think during the Buddha's time, I think some monks, when they contemplate on death, they thought, what's the point of living anyway? You're gonna die. And some of them even contemplate suicide or actually kill themselves. So the Buddha said, when you feel like killing yourself, then you have to switch your meditation subject from death to loving kindness. Love yourself, love your body. Don't hate your body.
Okay.
Look after your body.
We have to balance.
Yeah, it depends on how your mind reacts. Because too much of one thing can be harmful also. You have to have the right balance. Like medicine, you have to know the proper amount of medicine to take. You take more medicine than you need, you might overdose, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
I see.
So you have to look at the effect of this contemplation and what is kind of effect it affecting your mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Tanja.
Yeah, thank you, Ajahn.
Next, I'll go to Gyagyen So from Penang.
Tan Ajahn, good evening. Listening Tan Ajahn, no question, yeah.
Okay. How about Gary, also from Singapore?
Good evening, Tan Ajahn. No question, just listening in.
Okay, Belinda, also from Singapore.
Good evening, Tan Ajahn. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh.
Go ahead, say.
I just yeah, your discussion, your teaching to check and see of the kind of medicine that we should take every time when our mind changes.
Yes, because your mind keep changing from one end to the next also. So you have to use the right medicine to bring it back into in the middle.
The mind is very imprisoned by the heavy bad habits. It's very trapped in a story. It feels so real.
But mindfulness is a good way of controlling your mind. When you have mindfulness, you make the mind become calm, so it doesn't greed or hate.
About Vibhava Tanha, something very
Same thing. Vibhava tanha is hate. Bhava tanha is greed. Bhava tanha, wanting things to be like this or like that, or wanting things not to be like this or like that. That's vibhava tanha. You hate painful feeling, so you want the painful feeling to go away. This is vibhava tanha. You love ice cream, so you want to get ice cream. That's greed. That's bhava tanha.
I often find that when you listen Vibhava Tanha, it's just a flip of a coin. I just go to Bhava Tanha. Just to
Yes, your mind can change very quickly. So you need a tool to stop it. Mindfulness is a good tool to start with. The next one is wisdom or panya. Mindfulness can stop your defilement temporarily, but with wisdom you can stop it completely, permanently. But first you need mindfulness first, because wisdom cannot come up without mindfulness. Okay.
So when the mind isn't strong enough, and you
Yes.
just have meditation, thanking.
You need strong and calm mind before you can develop wisdom, before you can see anicca, dukkha, anatta, see the Four Noble Truths.
So maybe you have to make more merits, like generosity.
Once you meditate, don't worry about generosity. Concentrate on mindfulness and wisdom, development of mindfulness and wisdom. But if you have to deal with people, then yes, you have to use generosity. But when you're alone practicing, then don't worry about generosity.
Yeah, when I'm alone, I see the habit of the mind. Like I find there's this habit that I have impulse to help people. That is like a reaction to help. So it's some sort of impulse, like so and I need to use rationalization to stop myself from doing it.
That's right. You just have to ask yourself, is it necessary to help people or not?
This is something that I observed when I was at Kaohsiung, and I heard the monkeys were fighting outside my room. They were like,
wait for the right time to apply it. When you're alone, then this is the right time for you to leave your seclusion and go look for people to help. But
So
when you run into people who need help, then you can help them. But your main goal is to meditate, to stay in seclusion.
Yes. So I was sitting on the chair and meditating, and I heard the fights, and I heard the screaming from the monkey, like really get bullied. So I have thought that I should just step outside to scare them away. But the number of monkeys are too, they were just, the mind just kept thinking that it was tussling, like thinking that I should just
You have to look at what you're doing also, because if you're doing doesn't require that you continue doing, then you have to forget about that impulse, because it's just a defilement trying to get you away from doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yes, I noticed that, and when it takes rationalization. The mind talk to the mind to stop what I do. And when the fight stops, when I went outside, I saw the feces of the monkeys. I think the one that got attacked, and there were remnants of feces that left outside the room. And then the mind started to talk, said, "Hey, I feel some sense of guilt. I feel guilty for not able to help." So I've been like that. I'm just like, I have to get caught up with guilt, like not able to help. Yeah, and people can easily guilt trip me. Yeah. So I realize it's the mind talking to the mind again. Like maybe I just have to come back to the mind, to the breath again, Atanja, or not just buy into the story. Is it, Atanja?
That's right. You have to know what you're doing, and are you still doing what you're supposed to be doing or not? Okay.
Okay, that's very helpful.
All
Thank you,
right.
Darren. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to our last participant, Sulan from Singapore.
Oh, hello, Ajahn. Nice to meet you.
Yes, good to see you. Always the last to come in. Oh, you've been in here before, just didn't turn on your camera.
Yeah, I joined around like 10:30 around there. Yeah. Then after that, I just turn on the camera. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to ask Ajahn, like, how can we be more decisive?
You have to have the tools to be able to do that. You have to know what is good and what is bad. See? If you don't know, then you can fluctuate, you vacillate, because you don't know whether it's good or bad. But so you have to study what is good and what is bad for you.
I see. So indecisiveness is not a matter of no lack of mindfulness, but is
lack of information.
lack of information. Is it a lack of wisdom also?
Well, wisdom is information.
Oh, wisdom is information. Okay. Yeah. And I think I spend a lot of time being indecisive.
Like whether you should continue working or should you quit your work, for instance.
Oh, yeah, something like this.
But you know, right? You say continuing working is good for you, so you don't think about quitting.
Yeah.
But when you get a lot of stress and sometimes you feel like you want to quit working, then you have to ask yourself which is better.
Yeah.
Continue working or quit working.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you can have the right information to base on your decision.
Yes. Okay. That's true. Okay. And that means we need to do our own research.
If you want to think about right or wrong, then use the 5 precepts as your standard. You can go wrong with that. If you kill, this is wrong. If you steal, it is wrong. If you commit adultery, it is wrong. If you lie or cheat, it is wrong. If you drink, it is wrong according to Buddhism.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Simple. If you don't know what is right or wrong, just study the 5 precepts.
Okay.
And you want to find out what is good is the loving kindness is good, compassion is good, sympathetic joy is good, equanimity is good.
Equanimity is good. Sympathetic joy is good. Okay. Yeah.
Just know this 5 and 4 things, 5 precepts and the 4 Brahma Vihara. And you can base your decision on good and bad, right or wrong.
Okay.
Mercy killing is bad, but people think it's good right nowadays. There's no such thing as mercy when you kill.
Yeah.
You're cruel when you kill, regardless of reason.
Yeah. And I must admit that recently I asked the pest controller to come to my house.
That's bad. That's wrong.
Yeah, that one is bad, right? Because of there's a lot of cockroaches there.
Yeah, but you have to think about being reborn as cockroaches also in your future life.
Yeah. Yeah, but I thought that we can ask for help from pest controller. That's not considered a killing, right?
It depends on how you talk to them. If you tell them to come over, this is also bad. This is also bad action.
Oh, okay.
If you mention the problem and they volunteer the service, then this is not on you. It's on them.
Oh, okay. I
So
think.
it depends on how you talk to them.
Oh.
If you ask them, can you please come and get rid of the cockroaches, then this you're participating in breaking the precept.
Oh, okay.
But if you just mention that my house got a lot of cockroaches, what should I do? And then they said, no, I'll do it for you. Then that's his problem.
Oh, okay. The way I say it, it was like, my house have a cockroach problem. How much do you charge? It's like, is this also considered bad?
I don't know.
Okay. I'm also not too sure.
At least you didn't tell them directly to come and do it for you.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Okay. I just have rain coming down now, and it's quite noisy in my room.
Okay.
Excuse me. So it's about time. Oh, we have more questions from Gmail. We'll go to that.
Thank you,
Andrew?
Ajahn. Yeah.
กับนมัสการท่านอาจารย์ค่ะ We have 3 questions and they're all from Facebook. The first question is from Amar Ayugi. Dear Ajahn, can you please kindly advise if investing in stock market is right livelihood? Thank you.
Well, since there's no stock market during the Buddha's time, so the Buddha didn't say anything about this. But as long as what you do doesn't hurt or harm other living being, I think this is okay.
The next question is from Tanik. Some Ajahns say we should not visualize people or animal when radiating metta. Is it true that it will create attachment?
No, I mean, when you're radiating metta, it means you're giving loving kindness to other people. And you do this when you meet people, and you don't visualize people and radiate metta towards them.
And the last question is from Olivia Chi. Dear Tanajan, may you be well. A question about meditation. I find it hard to fight with drowsiness during meditation. Most of the time, I lose. Could you please advise how to deal with drowsiness during meditation, especially the meditation session in the early morning? Thank you very much.
Well, you have to reduce food consumption, eat less if you want to meditate and have no problem with drowsiness. If you eat normally, then you will find it difficult to meditate. Okay?
That is all, Ka.
Another way is if you feel drowsy when you meditate, you should change location. Try to meditate in the cemetery. If you meditate in the cemetery, I guarantee you won't feel drowsy. Okay? Well, that's about it for tonight. Thank you for your company. I hope this meeting is useful and can help you advance in your practice. In the meantime, please stay safe, be mindful, and keep on practicing. And if all goes well, I'll see you all at the same time next week. Thank you and goodbye.
กราบสาธุทุก
you,
ท่านอาจารย์
Thank you,
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vince.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, thank you, admin. Bye bye.
คุณพี่แอดมินทุกคนนะครับดีค
อ
รับ
นุโมทนาค่ะ
ดีค่ะ
ครับ สวัสดี
สวัสดี
ครับ
Bye.
ดี
Thank
ค่ะ
บ๊ายบาย
you. I'm gonna leave. Okay.
What?